The year is 1492, and you've been commissioned to sail a ship off into the fog. No one has ever come back from the fog, so you have no idea how long you'll be gone or where you'll end up. You don't have much room. So here's the question. What do you pack on your ship? Some obvious answers come to the fore. Food and wine, blankets, weapons. To be sure, our list would be long and each of our lists would be different. We would instantly realize that we're faced with a challenge of having to make tough choices. What stays and what goes? We'd also realize we're faced with a future that has multiple possible future scenarios, but only limited capacity. We would need to have a look at each one of these items and look at them in terms of how robust are they. For example, food and wine are good regardless of where you end up or how long you're gone. Blankets can keep you warm if you end up in a cold environment or shelter you from the sun if you end up in a warm one. I first heard this metaphor from Dr. Roch Perara from Strategique, and I think it perfectly exemplifies the challenge we all face as we look out into the workplace of the future. We are alive at an exciting time. The fourth industrial revolution is upon us, and for the first time in history, the vast majority of people have access to the transformational tools in one way or another. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and cyber-physical systems are changing our world in ways we can't even imagine. But there is one thing we can be certain of. This industrial revolution will be similar to the previous three in one important way. Many jobs will be eliminated forever, and many more new ones created, most of which we have yet to even imagine. Consider this. The World Economic Forum predicts that 65% of children entering primary school right now will end up in a job or role that doesn't exist yet. This is equal parts exciting and terrifying. We can take some comfort in the fact that organizations like Accenture, PwC, and the WEF predict that artificial intelligence alone will grow the size of the global economy by more than $13 trillion by 2030. And a few trends have come to the fore which seem to be at this point unstoppable. The first one, 65.2 million people in Canada and the United States alone identify themselves as currently working in the gig economy. That simply means that they view themselves more as freelancers doing work for customers and less in the traditional employee-employer relationship. Now, these two issues alone pose a massive challenge for our legacy culture. Organizations are ill-prepared to accommodate for this change, and the system that we have in place to get people ready for this brave new world is outdated. Past industrial revolutions have seen us move people from agricultural fields in the country into factories located in the city. And to facilitate the required transformation in skills, we created a system. Classrooms with rows of desks, bells to signal the start and finish of shifts, and production in batches. Congratulations to the class of 2019. We have, in essence, created a just-in-case versus just-in-time system of education. And I'm sure we can all remember a time when we were in class in school learning something that we were quite certain at the time we would never use again. And in many cases, we were right. Now, to be clear, there are some excellent people doing their level best to turn this system in the direction of this brave new world. It is indeed a Herculean task. And the system is changing, but cannot possibly keep the pace set by artificial intelligence and machine learning. Some examples of this: business schools are having a discussion now of transforming from a degree model to a membership model. And the concept there being there would be a lower cost, lower time initiation, followed by multiple interactions with the school for the balance of your career. It's time for a mindset change. Now, full disclosure, I have a university degree. It's not a shocking piece of information, certainly doesn't make me unique. I do keep my degree in a very special place. It's in the basement, beside the furnace. Not to worry, not to worry. It's protected from water damage by a plastic lid to a storage bin. Now, it's not that I'm not proud of having gotten a degree. It's simply that it doesn't impact my life in any way and hasn't for many years. See, shortly after I started my studies, I realized I was not going to continue on in that field. But my goal was to get a degree, and I did. Perhaps a better goal could have been to determine what it is I wanted to accomplish and what required skills did I need. If I'd done that, then my degree is but a milestone on a journey of lifelong learning. So, our system right now is kind of like focusing on the wedding versus focusing on the relationship, and we need to change that. There is a growing trend right now away from credential-based work environment and to skills-based work environment. And because that's the case, we have to reorient our thinking from that of goal completion to that of skills attainment. Employers in the future are not going to hire an MBA. They're going to hire a set of skills to do a job optimally. They're not going to hire a financial analyst. They're going to hire a set of skills to do a job optimally. And this is, if you think this is far-fetched, consider the fact that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what artificial intelligence alone can do in this field. But this is antithetical to how we currently think. I can't tell you how many times I've met somebody, and in the first 10 minutes of meeting them, they tell me where they went to school. It's part of our social norms. And for many people, it's a major part of their personal identity. But here's the thing. The world of work doesn't care anymore. And it's going to care even less in the future. So let's try this. Let's each of us build our own skills inventory. By yourself or in conjunction with others that you trust, ask yourself these questions. What are you good at? What do people turn to you for? And what gives you energy? Now, the purpose of this exercise is to be brutally honest with yourself. But once complete, what you'll have is an accurate skills inventory of your current set of skills. Now, Bernard Marr recently published an article that lists 10 key skills that are required to be successful in the workplace of the future. This list includes things like emotional intelligence, creativity, and adapting to change. These are great examples of robust competencies or skills that you should consider packing on your ship. Regardless of what the future looks like, these skills will help you succeed. But this list is just an opinion. You should make your own. Now, I have to issue a bit of a warning here. I have said already that we have a system that has as its underpinning a dominant logic of goal completion. So when I issue this challenge, it's not a finite task. Much in the same way you wouldn't get your blood work done and go to the doctor, get your results and say, I'm good, never need to do that again. So too is this a journey, it's not a destination. So once you've done your skills inventory and you've created your own list of robust competencies, then what you should do is see gaps. You will have gaps, and you need to develop those gaps. In order to do so effectively, we know from research that you need to create support mechanisms to do so. We already do it unconsciously in so many aspects of our lives. We have book clubs and social groups. We have cycling groups and all kinds of things that we actually fortify time in our schedule to develop those needs. And I'm recommending you do the same. Find a group of like-minded people and with diverse skills and help each other with getting your skills inventory, creating your list of robust competencies, and building on your gaps. Imagine a world in which a central part of our social structure are these skills groups. And as you move, grow, and expand in certain areas, so too will the composition of your skill group need to do the same with you. The evergreen nature of these connections means that we'll need to create structures to facilitate these connections. Maybe like Tinder for skills development. And don't say that's what it's already for. Listen, the world of work is changing, and it's changing quickly. And this represents a massive opportunity for all of us. We will look back on this time as the single greatest opportunity each one of us had to transform our lives and build purpose and meaning, whatever that means to you. The transformation in the landscape has created the opportunity for all of us to be anything you want to be and to do anything you can imagine. Barriers of all kinds are being pushed aside. Age, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, geographic location, and financial status are all being pushed aside for us. But they are being replaced by a world that can best be described as a meritocracy of skills. And it's incumbent upon all of us to embrace that change and help ourselves and the ones that we love make the transition. So, I will tell you this. Indeed, my message is for all people, ages 5 to 100. After watching this talk, build a skills inventory of your own. Make a list of robust competencies that you think will help you be successful in the future, and identify where your gaps are and build structures around you in order to support the development. But above all else, make sure you remember, it's a journey and it's not a destination. So, as we all sail off into the fog of the new world of work, let me ask you this question. What will you pack on your ship? Thank you.